Are you a perfectionist? Do you suffer from perfectionism? And also, are you a people pleaser? If so, this video may be for you. But before I jump into the video, please subscribe to the channel, like, share this video, turn on those notification bells. So today it's all going to be about overcoming perfectionism and 3 ways that I have on my own healing journey through CPTSD and narcissistic abuse, how I have worked on healing that perfectionism, if you will. And it's a tough thing because I think perfectionism is somewhat a part of my personality type, but at the same time, a lot of those perfectionist traits that I have, and kind of the people-pleasing traits as well, kind of go hand in hand with the narcissistic abuse that I've gone through and that I still suffer from the CPTSD. And I've really been working hard at this because, there's no such thing as being perfect. There's no such thing as perfectionism. I mean, it's a word, but in reality, nothing is ever perfect. We may want and strive for that perfection, but it really doesn't exist. If you try to define what perfection is to you, it's kind of difficult to describe because I feel like, especially if you're all about growth and everything, personal growth, self-improvement, then you're never going to be perfect. Nothing's going to be perfect. You're going to constantly want to evolve and grow as a human being and as a person. I mean, that's just kind of the way that it is. But aside from all of that, so number one is, and number 1 and 2 kind of go hand in hand, so I'm going to kind of present them together. And again, these are things that I have done to work on my perfectionism so far. And this is only a couple things. This may work for some, and it may not work for others. But I wanted to at least share it to see if some of this stuff does work for you. So number 1 and number 2 is to try new things, like try a new hobby in a sense. And I've been sharing this a lot lately. It's kind of a well-rounded thing to do, especially if you're healing, I think. But more specifically, I tried the art of balancing stones. So I tried balancing stones, which I discovered on YouTube from a YouTube channel, and I came across it, and I decided to go ahead and go outside, my own house, and had some rocks laying around, and I just started balancing them. And it just so happens there's huge boulders and huge rocks all around me, and I started just balancing on them. And needless to say, I've been hooked since. I've been doing it for almost 2 years now. I show no signs of stopping anytime soon. I don't ever plan to. I love it. It brings me joy. I'm passionate about it. It's an art form. It's healing. It's meditative. It helps me to practice mindfulness and just to be able to relax and just be calm for once. And the reason it helps me with my perfectionism so much is, especially in the beginning when I first started. Now, granted, I'm still relatively new to this, but I'm talking like in the very, very first few months of me starting to balance stones, which, now was just about 2 years ago at this point. My perfectionism was really getting in the way, and I wanted every balance and every stone to be perfect. And the reality is I've come to realize that that's not realistic. And sometimes your stones aren't going to balance. You can take that in life. Sometimes things aren't going to balance in your life. And it's up to us whether we want to spend the time to balance those things, whether I want to balance those stones, or to cut my losses and to say, hey, these stones are never going to balance. And that's okay. Let's move on to another set of stones. See if these can balance. And you can kind of take that in life as well. And I've taken that into my perfectionism, I'd say. And it's allowed me to be okay with, making a mistake, balancing, and then the whole thing falls down. It's okay to fail in a sense. I don't really think that that's failure, because as long as you're trying, you're not failing. But you do make mistakes along the way. And that can lead to some temporary failures. And in balancing stones, that's what happens. I can be balancing and for 10, 15 minutes straight and be really like concentrated and loving the balance I'm getting, and then the whole thing falls down. That's okay. That's what's teaching me about perfectionism and to not always need things to be perfect. And number 3 is a very simple one. And if you're a people pleaser, which I have people pleasing tendencies myself, to cut down on people pleasing habits, and to also realize that, because when we're perfectionism, for me at least, goes hand in hand with trying to please others. And I want things to be perfect so that I'm impressed, that person is impressed by what I'm doing, or I'm leaving a lasting, like a good feeling for them by doing that perfect. And that's mostly at work more than my personal life. But, to cut down on people pleasing habits is a huge thing. And that's something that I've been really working on myself, and realizing that, certain people aren't going to like you. Certain people don't like me, and that's okay. And it's not my job to always be perfect to impress them. Nor is it my job to be perfect for anything that I do, because perfectionism, being a perfectionist, it's very unhealthy. And there's no such thing as being perfect. It's okay to fail once in a while. It's okay to make mistakes. It's all a part of life. With that all being said, please subscribe to the channel. Like I said, share this video, turn on those notification bells, and I'm going to leave you with what I always leave you with. That is, of course, be kind to others, but most of all, please be kind to yourselves. It's known as self-compassion. Take care, everybody.